So, hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live. Welcome to Caliber Corner, episode number 78. Oh my gosh, do we have stuff to talk about today, guys? We've got SHOT Show 2019, the wrap-up. We'll see if there's anything out there that has caught your attention. We're also going to talk about Bullpup basics, as well as just a basic overview of 6.5 Grendel. And we have our resident expert in 6.5 Grendel, AWAG, with us. So real quick, let's let the panel introduce themselves. We'll let everybody else show up for class out there in gun channels land and YouTube land, and we'll see who's with us. And then we'll go and fire it up. So AWAG, what is new in your world, bro? How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I kind of want to correct you a little bit. I am not an expert. I am farthest thing from an expert. I just have experience with this cartridge.
Yeah, we just want people to just want a general overview of the cartridge, and I did a little bit of research on it, learned a little bit about it this week too, talking about bullpups, talking about that cartridge, you know, so just to kind of get the information out there, get the thoughts stirring in your mind, maybe it's something you want to consider. So, AWAG, what can one find over on your channel? Where are you at, for starters? Where can we find you?
You can find me at AWAG1000. Just look for my bright yellow smiling face. I currently passed 200 subscribers. No, somebody unsubscribed, so now I only have 199. Somebody fix that for me.
Here, I will look up your channel real quick and put a link to it over there on the YouTube and the gun channel side. Okay, you carry on.
I have various videos. I just dropped a video last night of a dash cam that I was on the way to a range. I don't know, 6-7 months ago. And I just kind of stumbled across the file, and I was like, I'll make this into a video. So it's basically
control of your car.
No, I was driving to the range, and this late. I'll be honest. I was going a little quick. I think I even said it in the video. I was like doing 70 and a 55, and
holy crap.
And this lady just blows right past me. I was like, I'm doing 70 and a 55, and you just completely overtook me pretty darn quick. There was a cop that comes the other way, like, rails on the brakes and, like, does an immediate U-turn. I was like, oh, crap. I think he's coming after me, because the lady had just passed me, and that's where the cop was, so I thought the cop was looking at me. He turns around. I was like, "Oh crap, he's coming after me." I was just thinking, he's coming after me.
Did he follow you or not?
No, he just blew right past me. He was going after the car that passed me.
Oh, there you go. So New Jersey drivers are as bad as they say.
Yes.
So that's you.
Pretty much. Okay. You gotta watch the whole video. You wait till the very end. Man,
so AWAG, I put the link out there on the YouTube side. I'll put it on the gun channel side, so people can come sub to you right now.
Coolio.
There we go.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem, man. No problem. Let's get that over there posted. All right, cool. For a second there, I thought maybe I posted the link for the Hangout. All right, man. So, AWAG, thanks for joining us. And Night Strike, it's been a while since you've been with us. It's been a couple weeks since I think you joined in.
At the beginning, yes.
Well, yeah. So, so what's new with GunTube, for starters? How are we doing with GunTube right now? What do we need?
We're doing. Let's just put it that way. We're working on it. It's just things are slow right now.
Okay.
So it's still there. It's still running. People can still upload videos and post stuff, but things are slow.
Now let's not reveal it to everybody, but you posted a video on Patreon. Was that just for me, or is that for any of your patrons?
That was for everyone.
Okay, if you want to see what the challenge was that was put down on me, you got to go over and become a patron to, is it GunTube or is it Night Strike? Which one is it?
It's Night Strike.
Night Strike.
It was strictly a Night Strike video.
Patreon support Night Strike. He is the proprietor, the creator, the mastermind behind GunTube.org, and it's also funded by viewers. It's funded by Night Strike. So any support for GunTube.org is definitely something we need. And, I heard there's a whole nother round of restrictions that YouTube is releasing as of January 2019 that's going to hit channels even more. Not necessarily with strikes, but they're going after a more broad spectrum now for putting limited or no ads on videos. So you're going to hear a lot more people complaining about losing ad revenue and stuff like that. It has to do with profanity, actually, which is a big part of what we do in a lot of our videos and a lot of our podcasts.
Hit or miss may have to go... have to go on a different platform then, because
bring that in. See how fast. Make it a competition to see how fast you can get banned.
Well, the weird thing about Caliber Corner is it does get flagged every single episode, and I put up a manual review, and within a day they overturn it. They just do it. I don't know if they just do that by default on every live podcast that's out there, or if it's just a me thing. But I want to talk about that. Let's get on talking about guns. So Nice Rick, what kind of content you got coming up on your channel, buddy?
Well, I got a couple reviews on some things here and there that I got to do. I got to also do some shooting videos and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Cool.
maybe take the AK out because the AK hasn't been out in a while. You know, it needs a walk.
Okay. Very nice, man. Sounds good. Well, I might be buying a new camera for the channel, so if that happens, I will send you my current camera, which is fine, and you can maybe start using it if you want to.
That would help.
Videos. It does. It'll do. I believe it does 1080p, or if it's 720p, it's a decent resolution. I want to get something I can attach an external microphone because of wind noise. It's just been a battle ever since I love my camera that I have, but it has no external mic on it. So I basically put like little cotton balls over the microphone and put tape over the top of it. But we're talking a 20-mile-an-hour north or south wind, and you're shooting north or south. You know, it's an element you always got to battle. So
most of my videos are taken just using a cell phone camera.
And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it works good. Might be kind of nice just to have a standalone camera so you can do longer recordings and things like that. So, all right, man. Well, thanks for joining us this morning. I do appreciate it. We'll see what you have to say. Okay. Sandhills, what's going on, bro?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for the invite.
Did you want to say something
about here?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but were you saying something when I was talking about the profanity thing and YouTube's new regulations and stuff? Were you going to chime in on that? I didn't mean to snuff you out.
I was just going to ask you how you get that overturned, because lately all mine just get confirmed by manual review. And here's the gripe that I have, and hopefully this doesn't come back on you since we're on your channel, and I won't use profanity here. But the gripe that I have is YouTube hits us with not suitable for all advertisers. It's not that this isn't suitable for all viewers. I can understand not suitable for all viewers. But no, it's not suitable for all advertisers.
Oh, of course.
Which all that means is we're going to run the same ads we were going to run. We're not paying you for it.
Basically, yes, because I'll go back and watch my videos on my wife's YouTube account just to see if they play the ads, and they'll play the same NRA video, they'll play the same Shield, USA Shield video, or whatever, you know. So yeah, it's pretty much
doing. The only difference when you get that little yellow mark instead of the green mark is that you don't get the money, but YouTube does.
You might get a little percentage of it. You might get 10% of what you normally get, which
the only thing you get is a portion of YouTube Red, which I am a member of YouTube Red, so I don't watch ads before videos, but most people aren't. I have it because I have a Google Play Music membership, and YouTube's part of that.
Yeah, part of it might have been that I've done so many episodes of this that after they've watched so many and said that they're okay, they just flag it automatically because it's gun content, but then they overturn it because, I don't know why. I've been doing the episode for 2 years now, so maybe that's why I'm kind of grandfathered in on it. But I've had some that have been flagged that have not been overturned, and there was zero profanity in them. So
the way that I understand it, they flag automatically based on tags and words in the title and description.
Yeah,
and then they review it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this doesn't violate community guidelines, but the chat that we had on my channel this week about abortion, I expected that's controversial, so I expected that would happen. But there was one a couple weeks ago that got nailed that I still don't understand why. Yeah. It was the one where we had all the ladies on the chat talking about how being armed actually makes you safer and less of a victim.
My tactical tuna video, my Starkist tuna food review got flagged.
Because it had tactical in it. Somebody mentioned to me here, I posted a rant up on Facebook, just a picture of the email that I got, and somebody said, if you didn't have shooter in your name, that would probably go a long ways. And I thought, well, that's probably true.
Yeah, but can you change your name and keep all of your channel stats or not?
Yeah, I can change the name. I could just drop that off of there and just be Sandhills, and I've toyed with that idea because it's cool. I mean, I'm not just a gun channel anyway, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
anyway, thanks for letting me be here. I'm heading into work. So
when can we check out your show? When can we find you?
Oh, you can find me Tuesday nights, 9 Central Time, for 2A Tuesday right on the Sandhills Shooter channel. Although it may be going to Sandhills in the future, we'll see.
Try and just see what happens. You can always go back to Sandhills Shooter. Unless somebody else picks it up, which I doubt.
The only thing is, like, I've got Spreadshirt, I've got shirts that I already have made. I've got stickers already made that I'll say that. So
Yeah.
I'll have to. Maybe those will become limited edition then.
Yeah, well, that'd be awesome. There you go.
That'll up the resale value of all your stickers to everybody that's got them.
There you go. They have an eBay resale value to them and everything. So, all right, man. Well, thanks
Cool.
for joining us. And you said 2A Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Central Time, right?
9 Central, the only time zone that matters.
Pretty much.
Now
Pretty much.
make sure that you don't end up being the Rambler of gun channels.
You know, I'm kind of wanting to be the 57 Chevy of gun channels.
Ooh, there you go. That'd be
You
nice.
know,
That'd be nice.
Not that old.
underappreciated, but yet highly sought after by people that actually know something.
There you go. People that see it know what it is, and they know what it's all about.
The
Do you
people that
have-
understand quality and value.
Yep, exactly,
Do you have
exactly.
tail fins?
Do I will put tail fins on.
We
if
don't
that's
have
what
tail
it's gonna
fins, but
take.
we do have love handles, and so that's kind of the tail
It's
fin
kind of the same thing.
of the man world. So exactly, you got
Kind
they
of the same
stick out
thing.
there. You see them. They've got some style. They got some class. So I have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, we got to reverse a little bit. We're gonna go back to the Kingpin, David Bowling, who's joining us. David, what's going on, man? What's new in your world, dude?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me, Travis.
Welcome. So what can we find on your channel? What can one expect if they check out your channel?
I don't know, probably you'd have to brace yourself because it's going to be the most entertaining, most informative, wonderful information in the history of the world.
So you
Right
start off,
there
they
on
show
my
you running around out in the prairie, shooting at sand dunes, and you're playing like tactical music. It sounds like you're going to war, and Call of Duty from start to finish, right?
We go all the way from that to I actually have footage of the creation of space.
Oh my God, that's amazing! And then just everything just explodes.
Definitely.
Cool. So what's coming up on the channel? What can you tell us?
Later on today, I'll be releasing the third installment of my Firearms Inventors Players card deck. Jonathan Browning, the father of John Moses Browning.
Ooh, there
Thank
you
you
go.
again to
There you go.
GWebs, and go check out gearwebsites.com.
Heck yeah, man. Yes, definitely get over there. Make sure you get over to gunchannels.com and get signed up. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today. I do appreciate you being here. And we'll get fired up here in just a sec. So, Squib's in the house, as usual. Squibby, what's new in your world, man?
Not too much, it's cold here, like a lot of places.
A couple more months, will start to warm up a little bit. You can get outside, do some shooting.
Yeah, Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Well, yeah, it's interesting in Nebraska. You might have some warm spring days here, and then you might get a snowstorm the next day. Interesting enough, in the school where I teach, we've had our snow days in April. So, go figure.
They did 2 snow days last week, and they're probably gonna have a snow day on Monday. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kids
All
here
right.
only went to school one day this past week.
Oh my gosh. All right. So Squib, thanks for joining us, man. So people want to find you. You follow various podcasts out there. You got some content coming up on your channel. Are you going to debut a new video, or have you put any new content up yet?
I've got a bunch of files with some voiceovers I've done for some Speaking Squibbish episodes, and I've still got tons of folders with footage and images that I still need to edit. I'm whittling away at a little at a time.
Okay.
Some stuff I've tried doctoring up to make it better, and it's kind of like sculpting a piece of poop.
I've done that.
I've got a few that I'm just throwing in the scrap bucket and just reshooting completely. Time has been a big issue, but I got to say, all the stuff you're talking about earlier about the YouTube and all that, that's why I'm glad I don't give 2 craps about making money off of this. Because I don't worry about this stuff. If they block my channel, then you guys don't even have to watch my garbage videos or whatever. But I never intended to make 1 dime off of this, and I don't worry about it, and I don't care. And I honestly don't think YouTube should pay anybody. It's a free platform. You get to hawk your wares on their platform. I understand they've got their rules, but it's a capitalist society, so that's just the way it is.
Oh yeah.
But having to worry about getting paid, it's so nice. I have this thing called a job, so I don't worry.
Hey,
And
don't
I
get me
do
wrong.
this for
Yeah.
fun. And maybe that's why my videos suck so bad, is because I don't worry about doing this great production value and then expecting a financial reward for it. So yeah, I've got my stuff, and my whole Speaking Squibbish thing is something I've been thinking about for a couple months, and I finally released a couple of them. And like I said, I got some voiceovers, and Here's the problem. If I make it 10 minutes long, I get out the entire point. But honestly, I've been talking too long now. People are already falling asleep. 10 minutes isn't going to work. So if I condense it down into...
None Fancy has like 1 million subscribers or 700,000 subscribers. People will stick around for the 45-minute overview of a Lula uploader, you know?
Yeah, maybe not. So if I try to condense it down into 5 minutes or less, I don't say everything that I'm trying to say. So I leave out a lot of points. So then you get an incomplete, whatever it is, idea, rant, whatever it is. So I'm leaning more towards doing it shorter and just saying to hell with it. People don't listen to me anyhow, so what does it matter? But or I can always revisit it. I can always do, revisit it or part 2 or whatever it is at a later point and just make another short video. I think there's going to be some videos I do that are going to be 20 minutes or more here or there with gun reviews or something like that. But everything else, I'm trying to keep it 10 minutes or less, 5 minutes or less, see what I can do. Yeah. So that's been more of a challenge. But what I found is some of these videos that I'm throwing in the scrap, those are just going to be my backdrop for the series that I'm doing. And then I can just use up the stock. That way, you really don't even have to watch. You can just listen. A lot of times I have my earbuds in and I'm listening to you guys. So.
That's kind of why I go through so many details and go through so much stuff. So you can just put it on and listen to it and kind of do whatever you're working on or driving your car and just get an idea of what we're talking about instead of doing a little minute and a half. I try to make sure we cover. There's nothing wrong covering all the details. You do what you want to do. I mean, you'll find an audience. You'll have an audience that'll like your style and format, and they'll stick with you.
I don't care. I don't care if I have an audience. I mean, I don't have very many subscribers. I'm grateful for the people that do, but I really don't. I do this for me. I don't. If I lose subscribers or I don't get any more, I don't care.
Okay, that's fine.
I have to say, Squib, it is mildly entertaining though to listen to you talk and then watch you pointing out various parts on a lever gun receiver that have nothing to do whatsoever with what's being said. Yep. It's kind of entertaining just to watch one video and listen to a different one all at the same time.
I mean,
about that lever gun, but
if that's what you want to do, if you want to go, I don't know what this has to do with it. That was footage that I scrapped out. I just turned the volume down. I scrapped it out, and because I was doing one on how to put an adjustment I was making on a peep sight, and the video it sucked. I mean, I've got tons of that stuff, and I can either just delete it and make some hard drive space, in which case I might. But I'm always thinking, I could cut 3 seconds out of this and 5 seconds out of that and make something. So I figured I'd just use it as a backdrop. You'll see some. I think I already did a train video. It was one where it was just the image was. It was at night, and even though I could see the train, the camera couldn't. There's another one I've got that I'll be using for a backdrop where the train's just too blurry. Or I've got some old footage too from family vacations too, where Sarge was at the Hoover Dam yesterday, and I'm in my Hoover Dam pictures looking and saying, do I have any video? So I might use that as the backdrop. Who knows?
Since we're talking about content creators, there you go, Squib. Everybody that I'm subscribed to, I no longer have a bell pressed. And I can no longer press the bell. Every time I press, like for you, Travis, I've been watching your show and subscribed to you for a long time.
You have? Yeah, you're one of the first people to comment on my videos like 3 years ago.
And I can't push your bell anymore. It says error 404. And when I try it on my computer, it just flashes. So I've lost my notification bell for everyone I'm subscribed to.
You guys might want to check your subscriptions and make sure you can still, especially the gun channels, check your subscriptions and make sure you can still have access to them. You might want to do that. I'm going to check that real quick.
I've had some of mine turned off, and I've had to go back and turn them back on.
Again, YouTube is, and I've heard this from actual people working at YouTube. This is on YouTube. They have come out and said that if you don't interact with channels, you don't post comments on channels, you may not get notifications for their videos. That's what they've said. They want you interacting with the content creator. So if you don't post comments, if you don't comment during the live podcast and stuff, you may not get a notification, which I think is nuts. But
that's the weird thing with me because everybody out there that makes stuff knows that I'm on all of your videos.
You do. You give me thumbs up and you say, "Hey, cool video." You'll give me some feedback on it. So I'll just check mine. And you try to
They won't allow me to ring the bell again. Like, I haven't tried unsubscribing and subscribing back because I'm scared that if I unsubscribe, it won't let me subscribe back.
So I'm checking out 22 Plinkster's
video. Unsubscribe from mine.
Yeah. You know, 22 Blinkster, I've watched a couple of his videos, but I don't ever comment on his videos, and I can bell on or bell off if I want to. I wonder if it's not a phone or a computer issue. Have you tried it on just like a third computer, something outside of the house or something else to see if it works?
No, I've just tried it on my phone and on my laptop.
I was just kind of curious. I mean, you never know. It could just be a computer issue too, but that doesn't sound like it. So
if you need a guinea pig, unsubscribe from mine and then try to subscribe back. See what happens.
yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, but I can't risk
More or less.
missing speaking Squibbish.
That's going to make you rich, Squib.
There you go. Well, how about my B channel? Because all I do is things like steam cookers and complain about Chromebooks. So anyway, we got to get on to Tony so we can actually get this thing started. So Tony. So what do you know, man? What's going on, bro?
It's stupid friggin' cold here.
It's cold. It's cold, Tony. You staying busy these days?
Are you kidding? I hold this chair down when I'm not drunk.
Oh, there you go. Or did you hold on to the chair when you are?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Oh, there you go. So, guys, you can find Tony on various chats. Tony, any chance of getting started up? Has the internet situation improved in your neck of the woods so you can get some early watch going on?
I don't see it happening before the end of February.
Okay. I got you, man.
That may get delayed. I'm just depending on what the military does with my daughter.
Oh, okay. So, is your internet okay to run a podcast or not?
No.
You don't have internet at your house? Okay. So, saying I could happily send you something you could do your podcast on if you want to. You know, a different machine if you want something different to use or whatnot.
It's the internet connection itself that I have a problem with.
Well, we'll hang tight and see if anything happens, and we'll go from there. So it's cool. All right, so guys, we'll go ahead and get started here. There's going to be a lot of screen sharing going on, and as always, we got to see who's with us real quick. We have a lot of people that have joined in, man. We got Metal Guy 52, Stealth Hunter, Philo, Vandalistica Vlogs, Kingpin's out there, and in here, Archangel, AC 97, Big Scary Black F and Rifle Outdoors. Is with us today. I think that's somebody who does not want to monetize their channel. Poor Conservative. Cody Kelly's out there. Hello, Cody. How you doing, man? Sean Ponnery's out there. Gun Loving Grandpa Stanley's with us. Midnight Range TM in the house. Let's see who else. There's a lot of other people joining. Frank Hellman's out there. Frank the Tank. Blue Steel 44. I think Gunpowder Beauty's out there if I didn't say that yet. Blue Steel 44 is with us. Tacos and French fries. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Martin Korf. Martin, I want to thank you for the super chat that you gave us last week or 2 weeks ago. You put it in right at the very end, and we were trying to rush out because I had to get going. I had to get on the road, but I want to thank you, Martin, for your contribution to the channel. Otherwise, guys, with me, if you're watching this, hopefully you're a subscriber. And if you're not, just check out my channel, Travis P11, and I'm on Gunstreamer with the same channel name and UGEtube, guntube.org. Gun Channels obviously is Caliber Corner, so make sure you check that out too. I got a lot more content coming your way, a lot of fun stuff going on. So let's go and just go right into a little screen share here. And you guys feel free to chime in. Did anybody see anything at all that interests them in SHOT Show 2019? Was there anything that popped up that catches your attention? So here's the article that I've been using, and we can kind of run through a few of these guns. I thought the coverage was pretty good, especially from the Gun Channel side. Here, let's go and post a link for the article for you people that are out there watching on YouTube and Gun Channels. We were talking about this before the chat started. We just didn't feel like innovation for anything new is really there. And I'm going to be honest, I did 5 different parts of videos, and you guys probably got tired of getting notifications on these. Here we go. About new stuff coming out for SHOT Show, and the overwhelming majority of the people watching the video said that it's the same stuff. It's an AR pattern rifle in a new caliber, and it's a bullpup and or AR pattern shotgun. So there's nothing that interests the majority of the people out there. And the funny part is the people that were interested in anything the most, and I've been watching the comments because I replied to just about everybody, was that, again, the standard manufacturing volley fire S333 Thunderstruck, that little double-barreled pistol. I don't know if they showed off how the trigger system works on that because it fires 2 rounds at the same time. I believe what it is it has a here, let's look it up real quick. Standard manufacturing. It has like a 2-piece trigger to it, where if you pull on the bottom trigger, only 1 round goes off. But if you put 2 fingers on the trigger, both rounds go off because it has 2 separate triggers and 2 separate hammers. So this is the S333 volley fire. I think it's going to be $369. Can you guys see that okay? You guys that are with me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
And it could be that blade serves as the second trigger. Like if you just pull on the bottom, then it's going to fire one shot. If you pull both, it's going to actuate both hammers, and the hammers are contained. So it's 8 rounds, 2 barrels, 22 Winchester mag, polymer grip, steel cylinder, 1.25 inch barrel, 70-75 aircraft grade aluminum frame with anodized finish. The funny thing is, this is the gun that I get the most feedback on my videos, where people said they want to try it, they want to see it, they want to check it out. Again, that Taurus TX 22 generated a lot of buzz too. So going back here, what about this? What do you guys think about this? The U.S.-made Walther Ppk and Ppk S pistols. Anybody consider picking one of these up? Maybe they'll be a little more affordable now. Does anybody own one of these at all? I don't have one. I fired one several times. I got a buddy that has one, but I've never actually. I don't own one.
I'm not into the compact guns.
No,
those are full size.
I have not heard what they're going to go for. I would hope you could get one for 500. I mean, I don't know, because once you go above 500 or 600, you get into a point where you could go buy a German-made one. You know,
5's too high for me. Forget it. I'm out. I
For
can get a Bullpup.
You guys,
Yeah,
can somebody out there do a search for me and let me know if they can find a MSRP on that? I'm just kind of curious what they're going to go for. I haven't seen a price list yet.
What's been the price on the German built?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't looked one up on the used market. I mean, it's been a while.
They're cool. I've never shot one.
Yeah. Well, and for a while, weren't they made by Smith & Wesson stateside or something like that? I don't know enough about the history on them to really comment, but I mean, the fact they're going into production is cool. If the price is right, then people consider buying them. But
I will make a quick prediction on the volley fire, the first one that you showed.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and predict that will not be Maryland compliant. and I'll even throw in an extra prediction and say that might even fall under assault pistol.
Ooh, is there such a category? What the hell's an assault pistol? What?
I'll make another prediction on it.
In our 2000, I thought that I had never heard the term before until Feinstein came out with it.
Okay.
And I was back doing some Maryland gun law research, and in 2013, the Maryland gun ban rules nonsense that our wonderful Governor Martin O'Malley put in, they used the term assault pistol in the legal speak.
Is that one that's got a grenade launcher on the rail underneath, or what is that?
You could easily mount a grenade launcher on this thing. I mean, just look at that.
Seriously. I'm going to make my own prediction on that S333. I think it's going to go the way of the
like the shockwave or whatever.
With the straight grooves instead of spiraled rifling, the Reformation.
Yeah, who makes that, guys? Help me.
Franklin Armory thing.
Armory. Yeah.
We can't even remember the name, and it's only been a year. I'm gonna predict this will go the same way of that.
But if this is $299, a lot of guys might buy it because they're curious about it. Whereas the Reformation was like $1,500 or something. I mean, it was maybe even more. I don't even remember because again, I stopped looking at it when I saw the MSRP.
But without a trigger guard, you couldn't pocket carry that. You wouldn't dare.
You have I don't know if it has a specific kind of cover for the trigger or how you're actually supposed to carry it,
It's just got that little fin that hangs down. It doesn't have the full wraparound trigger.
I wouldn't want to put that in my pocket.
I wouldn't want to put that in a holster either.
I'm trying to see what they mention anything
that I'd be scared to holster it, but the holster for that's going to be ungodly big.
It says it requires a deliberate and full pull of the trigger before the transfer bar will clear from the firing pins. But still, if you stuff it in your pocket and it gets caught on something in your pocket and it goes off, or a purse or a bag for that matter,
Now, I'm sorry to change the subject a little bit, but I just remembered that Zastava is coming to the United States as well, and they're bringing the M91, which is basically I keep calling them Yugoslavia. They're Serbian now. It's basically a Dragunov. Now the price tag is a little high, personally. They're asking like I think $3,500 for it. Personally, I think it's like maybe like a $2,000 rifle.
Okay. I was going to find it real quick because they get down to the rifles. Now, AWAG, is it Palmetto State's going to they're going to put more 5.45 pattern or AK pattern rifles into production? Is that right?
Yes, and I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Maybe $600, you thinking, or what?
Probably around 5 or 6.
See, that'd be nice because that'll get you into 545 without having to spend the $1,000 that seems to be the price that I'm finding on the new market for most of those 545 rifles that are out there. And then also now with Zastava being made stateside, they're going to be able, they don't have to put all the 922R crap on it, right?
No, they're going to be imported.
Oh, they will be. So they'll still have to do some of those things that are required to make it, like a tap code trigger or or some sort of a U.S. source trigger and things like that. Yeah, a lot of these we've talked about and seen before. I'm going to just whiz back up here. Sorry if you guys are getting dizzy. The one that did kind of catch my attention, that we were talking about this beforehand, the new Steyr 9. I don't know if they're going to do this in the 40 or not. It is right here. The Steyr A2 modular. So what the guy was saying in the video that I watched is it has the removable fire group like it does, like your trigger group like it does on the like the SIG. And by the way, Steyr actually was the first company to offer that in a pistol, where you could actually take out the entire trigger group. The problem with Steyr was they also put the serial number on the frame. Whereas I believe, and Night Strike, you can correct me on this, your P320 does not have a serial number on the frame, right? I don't know. Night Strike, you still with us, bro? Okay, well, maybe he'll come back. But I believe that the serial number is just on the fire control group itself, the trigger itself. So, so therefore, you could put it in a larger chassis or smaller chassis, go compact, and so on. So this is pretty cool. What do you guys think about this?
I love the cricket effect.
Hopefully that's not any kind of indicator as the sales. I think it's pretty cool. The only problem is, magazines might be an issue trying to source them unless they really go out there and put them into production. And there's it will share some parts and some compatibility with the prior generation too. This one does have a standard pick rail on it, which is kind of nice. They were saying $600 for an MSRP. I'm sure in a year or two you could pick one up for say $500 or maybe $549. Pretty much Glock prices is what we're looking at.
What I think about it is the world needed
another polymer gun,
another polymer frame pistol.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I don't know how we lived without this.
Yes. Like I said, there's just not a lot of enthusiasm. Now, I'll be interested to hear how the other Gun Channels members feel about SHOT Show, because I was watching Sarge's wrap up and he said it's just so much more than you can imagine because there's just so much stuff there. That's out there, but again, a lot of it isn't really anything new and innovative. I mean, and I think maybe part of it is a lot of us were buying our bucket list guns or a lot of the guns we really wanted before the election. And now that this is passed, we just haven't really seen a whole lot out there. We might find a pistol that we like or a rifle that we like. Got your Colt King Cobra coming back and stuff like that. There's the new Kel-Tec CP33 is going to come out, higher capacity 22 LR pistol. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure if I'm even, like I said, my focus is changing on reloading, and I got my new scope now, and I'll be dropping a video on that on Monday. So, I'm going for higher quality optics now. I'm looking at more of just everything else other than the firearm. So I'm not done buying guns by any stretch, but there just isn't much out there. I don't know. You guys have any plans to pick anything up in the near future? Anything out there at all that's interesting you?
Probably I'm going to pick up one of those M91s because it's basically a Dragunov that is New Jersey legal because it's not a Dragunov.
Oh, wow. So it'll have the features that you need in order to shoot in your state.
Correct.
Okay. And you said they're going to be what, $3,000?
They're like 3,500, and that's what their MSRP is. And I'll wait until they get on the used market.
Yeah,
because they're definitely cheaper than a real Dragunov. So there's definitely going to be people buying them.
I was going to ask you, so even though I don't have to have New Jersey compliant rifles in my state, it's still going to be cheaper than going on to Gunbroker and bidding on a Dragunov, right? That's what you just said. How much are we talking for an authentic one if you didn't want to go this route? Are we looking at 5 or 6?
Depends on the condition. Okay. If it's like a Chinese Dragunov, it's probably going to be around 5 or 6. If it's an authentic Russian Dragunov, you're looking at like 10 to 15,000.
Okay. Here's one that did catch my attention. I really like this. I do want to pick up. I don't know if it's a 450 SOCOM or if it's the 450 Bushmaster, but isn't it Connecticut Valley Arms makes a break action single shot that we talked about? And I've been hearing these things are at Walmart for like $220. I got a buddy that bought one at Walmart in Ohio. He got a break action CVA. I think it was a 450 SOCOM, $225, and then he bought the optics rail for another $20 or $30. This one does catch my attention though, because I'm a huge fan of the Mossberg Patriot and the Ruger Ranch. Here's your Mossberg Patriot Predator and 450 Bushmaster, which 16 and a quarter inch barrel with threads on the end of it and a pick rail. No iron sights, which drives me nuts, but this might make it kind of a nice ranch gun. They say it's going to be a good kind of a predator gun that you could use. I don't know. It takes 6 inches and a quarter pound off the full size rifle. MSRP is $441, so you might be able to pick these up for say $350. That kind of gets my attention. But again, if I wanted to get into 450 Bushmaster or 458 SOCOM, I'd consider going with that break action CVA, just because it's so cheap to get into before I make the investment into a whole nother platform. But that was
Get
cool.
it in 4570.
There we go. Well, I don't think they make a Patriot Predator in 4570. That's what I should look for. Oh, get a break action in 4570. Do they make that?
Sure they do.
I've never looked around for one, but I mean, I don't doubt that they do. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. I know Night Strike was talking about. Was it Night Strike? Who was it that was talking about really liking the Bullpup shotgun or the AK, the AR? I think it was Night Strike was talking about the AR pattern 12 gauge that he was checking out. One of the Turkish made ones that you can get, like the Charles Dailies or whatnot. Is normal. It'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so, but anyway, yeah. So that's just another one. But again, I just not really seeing anything that gets my attention. There's a ton of tactical precision rifles that are coming out. You're starting to see some higher end 22 LRs that are coming out. A few new companies debuting their ARs. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty much just going to stick with reloading this year. That's pretty much going to be my thing. Just getting into that now.
I think I'm going to buy some black powder stuff, but
yeah,
not really looking at any modern style guns at all.
Yeah. I'm seeing some folding ARs and stuff like that. The Radical Firearms RX-03, we thought that was kind of cool. Let me just do a quick screen share on this one, and then we can move on to topics here in a little bit. You guys are probably tired of talking about SHOT Show since there wasn't a whole lot that really caught our attention. This is a AR. You buy it as an AR pistol, and you end up taking your trigger pack out of your 6-hour P320 and you drop it in here, and you've got a usable AR pistol. Now this one's set up as a rifle, and that opens up a lot of interesting areas, because once you drop that pistol trigger group into a rifle, do you then have to register it as a rifle, or does it change the registry on it? We were talking about this before Match Chat the other day, but again, the fact that you can buy it as a pistol, and you can get it with a 16.5-inch barrel and set it up and run it as a pistol, but you could put your SIG brace on it or whatever you wanted to. That's just kind of cool, kind of have the flexibility. But again, it's one of those things where, okay, well, now I have a P320, I can't shoot if I need to, So again, I'm sitting there thinking, and it's cool Radical came out with this, but at the same time, I'm thinking, well, what does it really accomplish, So I guess I could just say, I personally, maybe I'm spoiled. I don't know. I have a little bit of disappointment in the industry right now. And so maybe this year we'll see something announced or something new that really kind of catches our attention. But yeah, I'm just not really feeling it right now. So yeah.
I had a quick question for you, Travis.
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as you're talking about the triggers between putting a pistol trigger in a rifle, in general, in general statement, are rifle triggers usually lighter, or you could say better than a stock rifle trigger and a stock pistol trigger? Like,
man, it depends on it really does depend. I mean, they're completely different mechanisms. It really depends on the manufacturer. I mean, if you really like your P320 trigger and you want to run it through an AR platform, that Radical is the way to go. Somebody who really likes it. You're talking about most of your guns are like a single stage break or a 2-stage trigger on your rifles. I will say go ahead.
The point that you were making, though, as far as putting the P320 into a rifle, is because that's the firearm, the chassis, the fire control part of the P320 is the firearm. So does that firearm, to move it from a pistol to a rifle, is that legal? Right? Was that what you were asking?
Yeah, if you put it in,
not so much the mechanical aspect of it as the legal aspect.
I think the way they're trying to market it is if somebody wants to convert take their trigger out of their trigger pack out of their P320 and make it into an SBR, Radical gives you an option to do that. I don't know if it's going to be any cheaper than, say, buying a standalone SBR and getting your tax stamp, or because the way they're going to sell it in its base configuration, it's going to be a pistol AR. So you could put you're going to complete the firearm by putting your already registered pistol trigger pack in that Radical, and you've got your pistol, your pistol length AR basically.
Gotcha.
So it's just it's kind of
hey. Thanks, Travis, for letting me in here. I got a jet, get the workday started. So everybody have a great day.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Tony, stay warm.
I'm trying.
Later, guys.
Good one.
If anybody's talking out there, hey man, thanks for joining us, man. If anybody has any questions or anything that kind of our opinions on anything new out there, feel free to post it on the gun channel side and the YouTube side. Now, give me a little bit of time to find that, guys, because I'm running all this off my my laptop today, so it takes me a little bit longer to bounce between the screens. So if I don't see your comment, make sure you just go ahead and repost it, and we'll definitely check it. Let's see here. Comment. Paper Plane Crash says Zastava is overcharging themselves out of the market. AWAG, any thoughts on that at all?
Other than I think they're charging way too much for the M91 and their other like PAPs and things. I don't honestly think so.
Okay. It's kind of the lesser of two evils, you know. Another comment is, and this is a good point. Paper Plane Crash on the gun channel side makes a good point. Everybody loves to hate on Franklin Armory. Nobody appreciates that they're consistently sticking it to the ATF. Here's my question: if Franklin Armory would have released that AR for $349 with the binary trigger, don't you think they'd be selling like hotcakes right now?
Probably.
I mean, is it just because we can't afford it that we rip on, like, oh, there we go, another untouchable toy, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it's kind of the way that people, I mean, the fact that they were able to basically bypass or not be affected by the regulations, personally, I think they should be applauded for that because, and we all know that there's going to be limitations. You've got those Nerf dart, or those Nerf style bullets that they sell with the fins on the back, the rounds. Or you're going to have very limited range with standard rifle ammunition because you have an unrifled barrel.
But here's the thing: for what people don't understand is, and I guess this comes from me and my ideology of tacticalness, is if you have a short barrel rifle, you're not going to be shooting over 100 yards anyway.
I agree. I mean, the way for its intent, I mean, I'm telling you right now, if Franklin was smart. If they were smart, if they would price these things at $350 or $400, if I know they would, I don't know if they've got R&D they got to make up for. They've got initial production costs they got to make up for. Say we're going to sell it for $399.95. My God, everybody and their dog would buy one because I don't have one in my collection. I can easily afford it for $400. If PSA can sell a full AR-15 for $329 and they pay the shipping on it, come on, Franklin, get out there and do that. I just think people would buy it just to have it in their collection because they don't have one. It's just going to be just like the PSA MP5 when they come out. If they can sell for $600, $700, $800, they're going to sell like hotcakes because how else are you going to get an MP5 for under $1,000? Or an MP5 pattern, pistol carbine or whatever you want to call it, or pistol.
And that's another thing is people are like, oh well, why would I pay? How much was the Reformation or whatever it's called?
I don't even know, $1,500 maybe MSRP.
I mean, for half that, you could build a pistol with a brace that has rifling.
Yeah. I mean, you could get an SBR and pay the tax stamp.
Travis,
granted,
on the PSA 5, from what I'm hearing, $1,100.
Okay, because they said they wanted to make it competitive, and if they want to be competitive, they got to sell it cheaper than Zenith, and they got to sell it cheaper than PTR 91 or any of these.
$1,100 isn't that competitive, quite honestly, but we'll see what happens.
Then maybe they'll drop after a while. I don't know. I guess what Kalashnikov USA, I might go that route instead because they're going to sell one for what, $1,100 also. They're going to have a 9mm carbine that they're going to start selling too. So, or a shorter version of it, or an SBR version of it. So. Yeah, the pricing is kind of interesting. I think, just a lot of guys don't have a ton of money to burn. So if they come out with something that's got more competitive pricing to it, they sell more, I don't know. It's just kind of my feelings on it. But
there is a certain element out there that would be willing to pay whatever they can to stick it to the ATF.
Yeah, and there are guys that want it because they think it's cool and they don't have it in their collection. They think it'd be neat to have a binary trigger. And, just checking over on the gun channel side. So. See if anybody say anything on
I want to get a binary trigger because I honestly think it's quicker than full auto in some cases. Which
don't say that. Don't say that online.
Oh my gosh! And no, but there are going to be people that buy one of these things and they'll still ask the ATF if it's legal. So me saying that on the internet is most likely nothing too crazy.
I think AC97 sums it up best on the YouTube side because nobody wants to pay with their arm and a firstborn child for a proprietary new thing that is a niche or niche at best. So yeah, I can understand that too. What if that ammo would go out of production for that Franklin Armory gun that's got the fins on the back of it? And what are you gonna do then? Then you're gonna have to use just standard ammo through, which is gonna kill the range and the accuracy of it.
Going back to that gun that took the SIG trigger group.
Yeah, the Radical RX-03.
Is that a non-serial part where you can buy the thing, have it sent to your house?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I don't even know how they consider the lower. I guess it's not serialized, and it's not a lower. It's not a lower until you put your trigger pack in it, and then it's a lower. And at that point, your trigger group from the P320 is the firearm. So you're just putting the firearm in it's no different. Instead of putting it in another SIG shell and making it longer or smaller, making it bigger or smaller, you're just putting it in a carbine, or I'm sorry, an AR pistol platform shell. So yeah, I would imagine you can have it delivered to your home because that lower is not a complete lower. It's almost like you're buying an 80% lower that's, I don't even know what you call it because it's finished, sorta. It just needs your trigger group to put the icing on the cake. So you're just buying a lower frame, a lower part, I don't even know. Man, that's a good question. I wish I would have been a shot.
It reminds me of the Roni.
What's that? Oh, the Roni? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Kind of like the Roni, where you put your Glock frame and trigger group into that, style of platform, and then you've got a new weapon, essentially. Well, not new, but you've got a different configuration on your already existing trigger group. So, I mean, it's cool they came out with it. It's interesting, but again, the cost, somebody might want to buy it because they got a 320 and they just want to try it. And maybe they really like their 320 trigger, and why not? Now, I will say this. I hope to God that Radical is putting some time and effort into their build quality because the Radical upper that I had serious problems with it. I just had a standard. I had a 10.5-inch pistol upper, and it had lots of problems. I ran it on my dad's pistol lower and my own pistol lower, two different lower pistol receivers, and it would not function worth a dang. So hopefully Radical's up their quality game a little bit. I don't know. I've read some horror stories about their 450 SOCOM uppers too, and there's probably people out here watching this that said, well, I've got a Radical and have no problems with it, but I would hope for this they would, you wouldn't have to run into jamming issues and things like that or whatever, because it's going to be, that design's not going to be a traditional AR platform like you're used to, and I think it is just a standard bolt carrier group, if I'm not mistaken. I need to do more research on it before I talk about it, but yeah, so anyway, let's, anything else you guys want to say on SHOT Show before we move on? I do want to commend all the Gun Channels members for covering it. It was cool to check and see all that new stuff that's coming out. We talked about the High Point. I talked about it in my video. I don't know if we talked about it last week. The new High Point that's out, and then also the TX22. All right, we'll move on. Okay, so the next thing we'll talk about is the Bullpups, and I shared information with everybody on the platform. Somebody just said, hey, what are your thoughts on Bullpup rifles? And so let me put a link on both sides here for you real quick. Pew Tactical did a really good article on the basics of the Bullpup rifle. And if you're not familiar with the Bullpup rifle, there's the Steyr AUG or AUG. I'm just going to call it the AUG. That's what I've always called it. In this article that Pew Tactical wrote up, they gave their top 9 suggestions for getting into Bullpup rifles, what they recommend, and Bullpup shotguns. So, AY, can you give us a description of what the Bullpup rifle is? What's the idea behind it, in case somebody's not familiar with a Bullpup rifle is?
Basic rundown is basically a Bullpup is where how an AR-15 has the bolt carrier group and it runs along a spring, and it has a shoulder thing that goes up. It has a stock.
Mm-hmm.
What Bullpups do is they take that action and they kind of sort of flip it around. They have the spring that runs along the top, and all the bolt carrier guts and things are at the back where the stock is, so it basically shortens the rifle. So you can still have a 16-inch rifle, but that overall length of the rifle itself is maybe 6 to maybe even a foot shorter than a standard rifle.
So let me just show this to you real quick. What are we talking about? Like, here's just a SRS 308.
I love those.
SRS. So if you wanted to go conventional 338 Lapua, you're looking at a 48.5-inch full length as for a full size rifle on average. And then if you want to go with two different styles, two different sizes, they've got the 31.5 inch overall and 37.5. So on the 31.5, you're saving 17 inches of length and God knows how much weight. Now, can you get enough powder burn out of a barrel like that to be efficient? I don't know. One thing that's nice about the Bullpups, though, is you basically have your full-length barrel contained over the trigger as well as the front of the gun. And with your action behind the pistol grip, you have a much shorter, complete package. With some caveats. So, AWAG, what are some of the limitations of the Bullpups and that you run into? What do you think?
The one issue that I had when I was shooting the Tavor, it was the Tavor at the time, because now they're at the X95.
Yes.
The Tavor, with that shorter barrel, and I think this is with all short barrel rifles, is if you have like a compensator or even a flash hider on it, it's very, very blasty at your face, and it's quite uncomfortable.
You've got it right up there in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying you probably don't want to go suppressed on a Tavor?
No, I mean, you should
do. Yeah.
You should do suppress. I honestly am a big advocate for suppressing all the rifles. Like anything that you can shove a suppressor on, do it. Like legally, I should say. Unless you're the guy that does it illegally and just keeps his mouth shut about it. But
there you go. This is what we're talking about, guys. For those of you that are kind of curious, right? Is that the X95 or not? That's the original, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the original Tavor.
Okay. A few nice things about it. Well, it depends on the model. Some of these have an injection that comes out of the bottom of the stock, which is really nice because it's perfect for ambi. Tavors can be converted to left or right for ambidextrous
Some
shooting.
Of them even have bayonet lugs.
Yeah.
Yes. Charging handles can be reversed. You've got your charger up here on the top. That can be reversed for lefty. So if you know somebody that now you can go and get yourself a lefty or a southpaw AR-15. Stag Arms makes them. But this is another option. Like my wife's a lefty, and so we've spent, money on guns that I wouldn't necessarily shoot, but she wanted so she could have something to shoot that, might have been a little more pricey than say if I bought it in a standard right-hand configuration. My wife has a lefty Savage Mark II-F, a vintage one, an older one that she loves. It's got the bolt on the left-hand side, which is really cool for her. The action's on the left-hand side. So, so that's one of the advantages is the ambidextrous part of it. A couple of the cons, again, you've got the entire receiver, everything's sitting towards the rear. So you have to keep it tucked in close to you. You have to put some weight on it to keep it upright.
They're very unbalanced, I should say. But other than that, Bullpups are a very good idea. Personally, I like the idea. I like the idea. It's just the rifles themselves I don't like. I honestly, I actually had a pre-order on the Tavor 7, which is their 308 Tavor.
Okay.
But I kind of dropped that when I got my Romanian PSL parts kit. And by the way, I actually ordered the receiver last night. So.
Oh, okay.
So
excellent.
It's happening.
All right. I thought this was kind of cool. They have a Ruger 1022 conversion. So if you want to get into Bullpups, not necessarily on the cheap, but you want to go with a PS90 conversion, you can use your 1022 action, and I believe it takes the 1022 mag in the rear instead of up on top. But it looks like a PS90. So this is at Brownells. This is the Hightower Armory Ruger 1022 conversion kit, Bullpup conversion kit. I think I'm maxing out my internet connection. I'm lagging for loading, but you guys can see what it looks like in the picture. 30505 at Brownells. By the way, if you buy this, go through guntube.org to click on the Brownells banner before you buy it, because that way GunTube can get a cut. But this is basically going to give you the PS90 style stock, which is really cool. After Fire and Stan's FN PS90, I'm in love with that gun. I know you can argue about its limitations, but it's so much fun to shoot. So this is going to give you an opportunity to convert your 1022. So you could buy a 1022 for $200, get the stock for $305, and for $505 you'd have something, it's going to kind of mimic the feel and the manual of arms of the FN PS90. Oh, and it has a faux suppressor you can screw on it too, which is really cool. There you go. I like that. So again, yeah, you've got the compactness of it, which I think would make a Tavor a great CQB weapon, and there's nothing wrong with an AR pistol for home defense. But it's one of the advantages is the compact of it. The fact you can have the full length barrel, which helps out quite a bit, is a big one. So they listed the Tavor at number 8. And then number 9, I think they put this Ruger in here. So if you go through that link for that article I sent you guys, you can see what they have to offer. Now, price is going to be one thing. You know, there are some relatively inexpensive Bullpup shotguns coming to the market this year. They're going to be, you know, $400, $500, $600, which will get you into the Bullpup configuration. But rifle-wise, I mean, you're going to drop a pretty penny on it. Hey, wait, what's the cheapest you've ever seen a Tavor? Have you ever found one for, say, 11 or 1200 or not? Here's
at a local gun shop, I saw
the
the cheapest one for like $1,200.
Yeah, so it is going to be, and you know, for somebody who's going to say, "Well, man, I'm just shooting 5.56. Why do I need to spend the money?" Well, somebody wants to get into that platform, that style. But you know what we're looking at here: 5,000, 2274 for one of these. How much is a new AUG? Is a new Steyr $1,100, $1,200?
I think they're like around 2,000.
Okay,
they're pretty expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're going to drop some money on it, but and then the triggers are the other thing that these are out of production with the FNF 2000. The triggers are sometimes, you know, people complain about them. I'm sure there's some aftermarket options out there for some of these platforms. You've got trigger bars that run, you know, a half a length of the rifle's chassis. So you're looking at some gritty travel is what people complain about. I found the trigger on the PS90 to be just fine. Had a little bit of give, and then you would hit your brake and it would go. I didn't find it to be extra gritty or anything like that. And that gun had some rounds put through it, so it was comfortable. Here's your PS90. Now you're going to be looking at a longer barrel. That's kind of the P90 configuration. The P90's full auto, but PS90 would run you 1,300. I think you're going to have the standard. I don't know what's the barrel on. That's going to be 16-inch barrel or something like that.
It's a 16.5.
Yeah, your barrel goes back here behind, so it's buried in the gun a little ways, so it doesn't stick out, you know, quite as long as you think it would. But again, they're very cool. You could SBR it though. There's a lot of guys that like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple people out there in the gun channels world that have got SBR PS90s, which is nice too. So yeah, interesting enough. Also, the iron sights up on the top. The sights are on the left and right side of it, and there's a little tiny peep sight too in the middle with certain configurations that you can get. When I tested mine, that's what I was using. But they have iron sights that are up on the left and right-hand side of this rail. And so you actually look down at an angle, and you've got like a little built-in iron sight, which is kind of interesting. I didn't actually test it, though. I'm kind of kicking myself. I kind of forgot to. I was having so much fun with it. Bullpup shotguns, again, a more compact frame for maybe home defense, a little more tactical style. Me, personally, if I was going to get a Bullpup, it would be this right here. I love this, the RDBS. And I know it's a Kel-Tec, and you can say what you want, but this looks like something out of Halo. I just absolutely love this thing. You got a 16-inch barrel. The gun overall is really short. This is with a mag pull, probably 20-round mag in the back. And the stock does slide out and in. And here's your left side view of it. This one does eject out of the bottom. So this one's kind of designed, it does have a pencil barrel on it, but it's kind of designed as a survival weapon, you know, something you might pack in your vehicle as a truck gun or something to take for, you know, if you got to bail out or hit a bug out. It does charge on the left and right-hand side. It is reversible. It is, I believe, piston-driven, and you can control the gas up on the front. It does have a fold-down front sight. Yeah, that side's kind of obnoxious, but it does fold down. And stay out of the way if you're going to be carrying it. And this rear side folds down, and you can put a dot sight on it.
That's a Kel-Tec, right?
Yeah, Kel-Tec RDBS. Yeah.
I mean,
does it come in orange?
Yeah. Here's the RDB.
I'm not sure how I feel about
Personally,
that.
I like the RFB, but I'd buy one if they weren't such malfunction like whores. Sorry, I used that word.
I'm kind of curious what, you know, here's the RDBC.
I mean, if
the RFB is
I'd rather
the
have the
308 one.
SU16C than the RDB. That's just me.
Okay, so the RDBC is 30.4 inches, and the RDBS measures 26.1, so the S is actually shorter. But you do have a 16 or 17-inch barrel on there, too. Which I just think it's kind of a cool design. I like it, but again, it's $1,300. And this is funny. You know, with the Kel-Tec guns, you got that MSRP. A lot of the times, that's what you see them for sale for. You don't get that lower, you know, street price or gun store price like we do in a lot of other guns. You know, you might save maybe $200 on this one because I've seen a couple for sale on Gunbroker, but not much. So yeah, it does have a 16.1-inch barrel on it. Was it Late Boy Scout did a neat little video on this one last year at SHOT Show in 2018, and that kind of caught my attention. But anyway, if I was going to do a Bullpup, it would go this route. Now, okay, yeah, so it is chambered for it can take the standard NATO round as well as 223 Remington. So
And I think that should be the industry standard from now. Like, this is just my own personal. Is either 223 Wild or 5.56 NATO, because with the advancements in ammunition technology, even with 223 Remington and semi-automatics, it's kind of useless.
Yeah. There's really no reason to just do 223 anymore. There isn't, especially with all the surplus ammunition you can get these days.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem that I have with my How Mini Action is it's only in 223 Remington, so I can't use 5.56 if I need to.
Would you say that the amount of 223 precision ammo is shrinking out there? Like, what's available on the market if you want a good, short of rolling your own? Are you kind of limited? I mean, at Walmart, you're going to find 223 Remington, but it's going to be your standard ball ammo. But if you want a good varmint round or a good, just to get it in 223 Remington, are we limited?
I'd say so, honestly.
You can probably order whatever you want online. You can always order whatever you want, Yeah.
Yeah. But the issue is honestly, there's people that people are getting, 223 is not a good round for long range. It's like, yeah, well, it's already a pipsqueak round. Like, what more do you want? And
it's not like 7.62 by 39 is any better at long range.
I mean, you can make 7.62 by 39 very, very accurate, because with the 308 diameter bullets that are out there, you can make by 39 really, really accurate. And there's guys that are loading 208 grain rounds into 7.62 by 39, and they're killing it with the suppressor game, and they're like stupid accurate.
When you say 223 isn't good for long range, what do you consider long range?
Anything more than 300 yards.
223 is great for that.
I know.
The person who says 223 is not good for long range, or 5.56 NATO is not good for long range, and they're considering long range 300 yards or more, doesn't know how to use a gun. Mm-hmm. Get some training. Practice.
And not only that, if you had a 24-inch barrel, a nice 223 Remington precision rifle, and the correct optics, you could take it out to what? What could you hit? Say like a 10-inch gong. What could 600 yards? 700 yards?
I've personally taken a semi-automatic AR-15 out to 700 with pretty boring consistency.
Yeah. So it's like Squib is saying, learn how to shoot it. I think I've seen some 1,000-yard hits on 223. Now, I don't know what kind of energy you're going to get at 1,000. What kind of energy you're going to get at 1,000 yards if you could take? I wouldn't shoot game with it, obviously.
Yeah.
Just for your own, just playing around, hitting some targets or silhouette targets or whatnot. But now you got a good point. Maybe 5.56 should just become the new standard or 223 Wild, because it's going to give you the best of both worlds. Those of you that want to keep doing the 223 Remington could do that. Now, this is a stupid question, and I guess I've never really looked for this. Is the 223 Wild chamber and barrel showing up in bolt action rifles?
No.
Here I'm a gun guy, and I have no idea because I've only seen it on AR applications.
Yep. And
so
for some reason, the
You've got mail.
Yeah.
I've
seen more 223 Wild barrels.
There's no real tactical application for bolt actions in 223. So that's probably why you don't see many
223 wireless. Well, for the guy that's sitting on a lot of 5.56 ammo, it's just like the reason why I bought my Ruger Ranch in 7.62 by 39. I got a ton of AK ammo. I've got an AK. Hey, let's make a rifle that takes that ammo so I can go shoot it. I've had a heck of a time with that thing. It's been nothing but fun. It'd be nice to maybe do the 223 to give you the advantages of the increased accuracy, or you could argue, 223 Wild offers no advantages. Well, but it can still also handle the 223 or the 5.56 NATO round with no problems, without no risk of blowing up your chamber. It'd be maybe somebody will do that. Maybe there's one. I'm sure there's something out there. There's got to be a bolt action that's got the 223 Wild barrel. But it would be cool if somebody would put one in production. We put all these awesome ideas out there. The gun industry should really be watching this podcast.
They should be listening to our ideas. They make it big.
Exactly.
Or AWAG, we need to stop talking about these ideas so we can go and put them into practice for Nightwag and Gunworks.
Okay, Wag, I've got a question right up your alley, man. South of the Border Panda wants to know, Travis P11, how good is 5.45 by 39? Hey, Wag,
it's good.
Take it away. Okay, so compared to 5.56, let's throw it out there. Let the hate begin. Let the
better
war
ballistic
begin.
coefficient. It's slightly slower. Not that bad.
Okay.
What was it? It's lighter.
Ammo availability, and I don't care what anybody says. You can find 5.45. Go online. Sportsman's Guide probably has 28 different 5.45 rounds you can buy. You don't have to worry about not getting, was it the S7, 6,
7 and it's 7 and 1.
The
7 and 6.
banned
7 and
ammo.
6.
You know, a lot of that's corrosive and stuff. You can get modern production.
But
good 5.45 ammo.
Honestly, stay away from Tula. I actually kind of messed up my my 174 trying to get Tula to headspace. So both of my AK-74s are now in boxes.
I used Tula for 39 though.
Yeah, that's fine, dude. I've shot tons and tons of that.
Yeah,
no, we're talking the 5.45 because weren't they off on their bullets?
Yeah, their bullets are oversized.
Now, have you contacted them about that at all and said, you guys screwed up my gun?
Not really.
How about their importer? It might be nice for people to know that. I mean, saying, look, this is a sample taken from your load and you guys are off on your bullet diameter. I mean, to me, that's a dangerous situation. There should almost be a recall on that ammo.
Yeah, but it's one thing is my wood AK-74 doesn't like the Tula because it gives high pressure signs. And I tried to reach headspace it, and apparently it still doesn't headspace. So I guess my barrel diameter is a little small. But on my Plum furniture AK-74, it'll eat the Tula all day.
Now here's something cool. Hornady's got Varmint Express 5.45 by 39 VMAX 60 grain. 50 rounds for 20, which is a really good deal.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You can get Silver Bear 750 rounds for 260 rounds for 240 rounds for $66 for a non-corrosive Silver Bear, 60 grain. So I mean, it's not, the prices are pretty much the prices are going to be similar to what you're going to pay for 762 by 39. I mean, I'm not seeing much of a difference here. Maybe about another 10 or 15 bucks. Yeah, so if you go to Sportsman's Guide, they got 7 different.
Or if you go on my personal favorite website is SG Ammo.
Yeah.
They always have great deals on ammunition. And with 5.45, with the 74s pretty much all come standard with this huge muzzle brake on it.
Yeah.
And the felt recoil is much less than an AR-15.
Okay.
So,
I'd like to pick in the 5.45. If the PSA 5.45 AKs are solid, that'd be one to consider too. That's another one we've been asking for. Is how about an affordable 5.45? So I don't have to drop $1,000 on or more on an Arsenal or man, if they could get something out there for 5 or 6, I would imagine they could get it for under 600 because how much retooling do they really have to do to make a 5.45 AK versus what they're already doing right now?
All they have to do is just get the barrel. Yeah, the barrel is really all they need.
Well, your bolt carrier group is obviously going to be unique, right?
Yeah, the bolt carrier group and the bolt carrier.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
But other than that, with their previous rundowns of their AK rifles, Palmetto State seems to be doing a very good job.
Yeah. Other than the VSKA issues that they've addressed, that they're taking care of, having problems with that.
Well, I really hate to.
Oh, is that Century?
Oh,
No, the PSA, the PSA V 9mm AK platform, whatever those are. Aren't those the VSKAs?
No,
not the VSK. I'm sorry.
The AK-9s, they had trigger issues, which is understandable because they're going from a gas-operated rotating bolt to a blowback.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was like misfeeding a lot of rounds on Mac's video when he was showing it off. It was having trouble feeding, and it kept stovepiping and stuff like that. So hopefully they get that taken care of.
Which is why I honestly think we should move towards what SIG is doing with their MPX. Is it's actually a gas-operated pistol caliber carbine.
Okay. That's not a bad idea. But then again, aren't your AR-9s?
No, they're blowback.
Oh, they're blowbacks?
Yep.
Okay. I guess and again, these are a few platforms I've never really looked into because I haven't had, much of an interest in them. So, okay. Well, hey, you learn something new every day, man. we're going to go and shift on to our last topic here. So the last one that we have is the 6.5 Grendel. We had a viewer that said, "Hey, what do you know about the 6.5 Grendel round? Is it something I should invest in? What are your thoughts on it?" And I asked AWAG before the show started, I said, "Can you kind of lead this one? I've looked up the round. I mean, I'm familiar with the ballistics, its applications. I'm seeing like a 200 to 800 yard kind of application for 6.5 Grendel." And again, there's going to be more and more guns this year coming out in that, and 6.5 Creedmoor. It seems like at SHOT Show, everybody and their dog was introducing an AR pattern 6.5 Creedmoor rifle, and the round's great. I mean, so AWAG, what are your thoughts on 6.5 Grendel? What can you tell us about it? What do we need to know?
6.5 Grendel is a very, very good cartridge for your short, what I like to call their short AR actions, which is your standard like 223 AR-15 actions.
Mm-hmm.
They do, what is it? It's better ballistics at 1,000 yards than a 308 Winchester. So in a package that's as small as a 223 Remington, that's speaking a lot of volume.
So the idea was to come up with something that's going to function well between 5.56 and 7.62 by 51.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and there's some. I mean, we're just going off of the Wikipedia entry because they just talk about the basic history of it. Now, for magazines, a lot of times we like to let you know if you're going to buy this, here's what you need to know. Obviously, you have to have a weapon that's unique to 6.5 Grendel. There is Tula produced 6.5 Grendel, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about the quality on it. Would you say that's okay to buy, or should somebody just stick with Privy, or what do you think?
Since 6.5 Grendel has actually been adopted, I forget who adopted it.
The U.S. military, I think, is testing it right now. They are testing it as a replacement for certain firearms, from what I've seen.
Yeah. I don't know who adopted it as their like sniper system. I think it's
Yugoslavia.
No, it might actually be Israel.
Not Yugoslavia, but those satellite countries. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But they adopted it and they're using it in AK pattern rifles. And I think even who makes the Vepr? Molot, I think.
Yeah, Molot. Yeah.
They're using that in their AK systems as well, and they're incredibly accurate. So the inaccurate AK is kind of being thrown out the window.
Yeah. Now it says it has the case head diameter of the Grendel. It's the same as the 220 Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet diameter. What did we say that was? 264.
264.
So we said that's the same as 6.5 Creedmoor. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, again, for reloading and stuff like that too, you're going to see a lot of a lot of options out there for you. Also, that's going to happen. So again, performance wise, you're looking at having more energy than 5.56, and with certain bullet lengths, definitely much more energy and velocity over 308 or 7.62 by 51 at 1,000 yards, like you said before. Firearms wise, you've got a ton of options out there. There's a lot of bolt actions that are coming out in that now. You've got a lot of AR pattern rifles that are coming out. AK pattern rifles will be coming out for it. Limitations on it, AWAG? What do you think? Other than maybe cost per round?
I'd say cost. Yeah. And it's a very high pressure cartridge compared to the 5.56, because if you look at it, it's a very steep bottleneck.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to wear out your barrel very fast if you're worried about something like that. Probably barrel life is around 3,000 rounds.
Are we talking even if you go high quality cold hammer forged? Would that give you?
Cold hammer forged may give you a little more, but other than that, it's very high pressure.
Like 243, where you hear claims that can wear a barrel out within 4,000 to 5,000 rounds.
Yeah.
Again, development of it started back in 2003, and it was originally an Alexander Arms kind of co-op with a few other ammo designers. Some guy from Norma, which I can't pronounce his name, but he was one of the other people that was in on the development of it. So it's been out for a while. It's not like you can say, well, it's just a Wildcat cartridge. Well, to me, if it's been in production for 15 years or 10 years, I mean, you could still say it's a Wildcat because you don't have a lot of maybe firearms that accept it. But once the brass is out there, once the bullets are out there, once you can reload it, once you can go to Cabela's or your favorite gun store and just go buy an off the rack AR in that caliber, I don't know if I necessarily consider it a Wildcat cartridge anymore.
Yeah, personally, I do think it's still Wildcat.
Okay.
Just because there's no real like market for it. right now. There's no, other than target shooting, there's no real practical use for it.
Hunting?
Yeah, but personally, 6.5 is still a little small, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it delivers a devastating amount of energy. I wouldn't know about the Grendel, but the Creedmoor does. And here I am defending a rifle that I bought for hunting specifically, but I mean, with the right game round, it's got the same kind of takedown as many other calibers that are out there, so for guys that are curious about it, just to talk about the magazines too, we were discussing this before, you would want to go with a 6.5 Grendel specific mag, right? Because the power is going to be different. The angle on the magazine is going to be a little bit different versus 7.62 by 39.
Yeah, definitely do your research on magazines. You can work with AK magazines. It's just depending on the manufacturer's bullet length.
Yeah,
6.5 is a very long, slender bullet. So,
yeah,
just be cautious.
Magazines, I would say magazines run $15 to $20. I mean, it's not like you're going to spend $40 on a mag for it. Alexander Arms has AR style Stang mags, Stang mags, whatever you want to call them, for $22, $23. As a comparison, you can get 26 rounds in what would be comparable to a 30-round 5.56 mag. You would get 26 rounds in the same size mag if you went with the 6.5 Grendel, just as a comparison. So it's just not bad. But again, something to think about. A lot of guys like to try it out, or
I'd definitely go for it if you're interested. Find somewhere that will rent one to you, shoot it, and see how you like it.
Definitely.
That's thing for every type of firearm. If you want to buy it, go out and test it first.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, those are the topics for today. A little bit shorter episode than what we had last week. I've got some stuff I need to get busy doing with the family here. But anyway, anything else you guys want to bring up at all before we go ahead and call it? Anything up on Tony, Squib, Night Strike, David, or AWAG? Anything else you guys want to discuss before we go ahead and bail out?
Are you guys done talking about this? Because I've fallen asleep like 4 times.
Oh, it was a topic people were curious about. We thought we'd cover it with a little bit of detail, and I know more about it now.
Grendel, tactical.
Well, it's the thing is you're going to see more of it showing up, and so somebody watching this might think to themselves, "Man, what's this round all about? What is 6.5 Creedmoor about? What is 6.5 Grendel about?" Because they might, and again, if somebody's on the fence, somebody maybe wants to go drop $1,300 on a 6.5 Grendel AR. They might want to know what they're getting themselves into. What kind of applications?
Boy, let me tell you, I just can't wait until somebody does a 6.570 Wildcat, 4570 down to 6.5.
Hey, we can get a 4570 AR if I'm not mistaken, right? Isn't there one out there?
Yeah, for like what is it, like $8,000?
It's not a real 4570.
See, here's what I want. Here's what I want Night Wagon Rifle Works to start making. AWAG, you guys will just start doing inexpensive alternate caliber uppers and rifles that the average guy can afford. Imagine a 4570 AR pattern rifle for $499. I'm telling you, it's all about.
It's a lot of tooling. I don't.
It would take a lot of tooling.
Yep.
Or it would take a lot of CNCing and probably a lathe.
Yep.
Probably take a lot of liquor to get somebody to test it too.
Yeah.
Well, if you work in the specifications of your barrel and your pressures, you could probably do it safely. But I wouldn't be the first guy to pull the trigger on. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you save the liquor for the investors. See, what you got to do is you got to get your investors, wine them, dine them, right? And then when the money starts to run out and they're demanding an instant return on their investment, you get other investors to come in to pay those first investors, and you just keep chasing your tail until you start making sales and you run a profit. Then your initial profit goes to pay off the last of your investors. Then after that, you can start making money. Or you wine and dine more investors to start putting more money into your company, because the more money you put back into your company, the more and the faster you're going to start making even more money. It's just that people don't want to wait the matter of years it takes. And when they're under pressure from investors who said, I gave you money 6 days ago, where is it? It's like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to get a return on your investment for like 2 years. And they got their own debts they want to pay off, so they're putting pressure on you. And it's not an easy thing to do, but if you play your cards right, anybody can jump into this game because this is a small item. You don't need a big factory for it. You don't need a lot of people. You don't need a whole lot of anything to just get a product line started. It's when you start expanding your product line, the next thing you know, you're making 50 different kinds, or you branch out. Now you're doing rifles and ammunition and accessory and stuff. That's where you really need to expand it. But that sort of stuff turns people away. It does. The first time they get a high pressure investment meeting, and you've got these people who got oodles of money, and you're sweating bullets because you've got this sales pitch you've been working on forever, and they don't really understand what it is you're doing. All they want to know is, how quick am I going to make 10 times my money back?
Yeah.
And investors don't like the reality of the fact that they may lose everything they put into it. They're going to make it big on one investment, and they're going to lose everything on another. The whole point of it is to make it big on more investments than on investments you lose. But when you're in the meetings with these guys, or they're calling you up going, how's things going? And the factory's on fire behind you and stuff. That sort of stuff makes people go, I don't want to get into this. I don't want to do this. And I think that's part of the reason you're seeing some of these ridiculous prices on these, where it's like, where they're only going to sell a few at a high profit, as opposed to selling a ton at a lower profit, but still making more money overall, or it taking longer to make money, because they're trying to recoup their money quick. And what they don't realize is that doesn't always work. That doesn't matter at firearms or anything, any sort of manufacturing. Sometimes you can do it, and sometimes you can't.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So we'll go ahead and get our little outros going on. So, Tony, we'll start with you this time. So, Tony, anything you want to say before we call it, bud?
Good day, everybody.
Right on, man. You stay warm, sir.
I'm trying.
16 below zero morning you got to deal with, man. You hang in there. Grab another blanket, okay? Good deal. All right, Squibby, anything you want to say before we close?
No.
All right, man. All right. Sounds good. No problem, man. Thanks for joining us today. As usual, good to have you here. All right. Nice strike. Anything you want to say before we go, man?
Yeah, Squib's falling asleep so much. Maybe he should get some more coffee.
Yeah, that would help. A second cup of coffee. I'm already on number 2, and I'm just ready to rock, man. Right. Ready to rock my Saturday.
Right. And, check out Hit or Miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. Check out the Friday Night Strike at 6 on Fridays. Obviously.
In defense of Squib, there ain't enough coffee for some of this boring crap.
Jeez, you guys.
Yeah, well, dude, you're talking about just going on about 6.5 Grendel, 8K, 5.45. Why don't we start talking about those stupid scopes?
Squib, the idea is that we want to cover the caliber. We want to talk about its applications. The idea, people want to know about the caliber. We want to talk. If you buy it, are there guns out there for it? Or are you just buying into proprietary platforms? So
I'm speaking for the 4 or 5 of us out there who,
okay, well, people can go watch something else if they want to.
The other 9,000 people are like, cool. It's made out of plastic.
Well, not every topic that we're going to talk about is going to be just like super duper engaging for the whole world. We're just trying to come out with the information for people so
Travis, I'm not trying to criticize you or whatever. I'm just
that's kind of how I'm taking it,
dude. Sorry.
All right.
Here's the issue. You talk about the 6.5 with all these freaking names after it. When Winchester came out with the 264 60, 70 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why now is 6.5 all of a sudden so damn great when they've been making it forever?
It could just be the marketing that, one caliber starts to take off and people want to, maybe it's because, again, we're out of ideas for marketing. So we're just going to new calibers and throwing them in platforms that already exist just to see if it sells. I mean, that could be part of it too, and that could be just that's why we're starting to see, calibers that came out 15 years ago that you could maybe find one rifle for, and now suddenly showing up in every platform of AR or AK,
You know what would be innovative? If they would stop coming out with new calibers, stop making the same old crap that their competition makes, and just charging more for it, and going, that $1,100, $1,200 gun that we've had out for 10 years, we found a way to make it for the exact same quality in America without losing any jobs for $600. That would be innovation.
That's what we were talking about. We're talking, would it be great if companies could come out with these things? And it's kind of like my Ruger Ranch. I keep going back to it. They came out with the bolt action rifle in 7.62 by 39 for $375, $400, and
Right.
I can afford to shoot it all day. And it's got a nice hunting capability, and it's fun to play around with, and it's designed for steel case ammo. I mean, that got my attention as a consumer. You know.
But instead of doing that, most companies are just doing the same old boring crap. Let's make a gun nobody asked for. Let's make an overpriced gun. Let's make the same gun our competition's been making for years, but charge more money for it. Or let's come up with a whole new cartridge and hope it sticks.
Here's a good one. I like. Go ahead.
Part of it is trying to make the AR do everything, and it was never intended to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, because then they got to modify it, make it proprietary with certain parts. You can't just find, the things you want for it. You got to buy into a certain platform, and you're hoping and you can still get parts for it 20 years from now when you pass a rifle on to your kids, or 30, 40 years down the road. So, but we'll continue with the outros. So, Squib, anything you want to say, man?
No, I already put my foot in my mouth.
Oh, don't worry about it, man. It's all good. Hey, that's how you feel. I appreciate it. It's good to know. All right. Okay, Night Strike. Anything you want to say, man?
Yeah. As long as I'm not going to get interrupted again. If I'm going to get interrupted again, please get it out of your systems.
I'm going to try not to. I didn't realize I did. I'm sorry.
No,
I did. So shut up and take it.
No, I'm not going to take it.
Hey, Uncle Tony's talking. You respect that. You respect Uncle Tony. He'll put you down.
No, I think Illinois is putting him down.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Just check out guntube.org, and we'll see you next week.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Okay, bye.
David, anything you want to say before we go, bud?
Yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Caliber Corner, and check out Travis's channel. Go over to Rick's Life as I See It, 3 p.m. Eastern, and check that out. And definitely check out the Wednesday show on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Rick's Life as I See It, Shooting with Disabilities.
Yeah, that's a good show. If you guys haven't checked that out, that's another good one just to put on and listen to. And I like to play a lot of these podcasts and just work on other things, and I kind of learn something from him. He's got a good show. He's got a great show. Always something new to talk about every week, and it's good. Yeah, so that's Rick's Life as I See It. And again, we always encourage you guys to go over to Gun Channels and watch them over there if you can. Many of those channels will post the link for their show over there. Some of the channels, they'll only look at the chat on the Gun Channel side. So if you want to really participate, you might be commenting away on the YouTube side, but never hearing anything back because we're trying to kind of support our own over on gunchannels.com. And so that's one thing that you should know about the videos. If you're watching anything that's associated with Gun Channels, it's a good place to be. So, all right, and finally, AWAG. Anything you want to say before we call, bud?
Shall not pee in fridge.
Definitely do not pee. Don't ever pee in fridge. Just don't. Even if it's not yours. It's just rude.
That's Don't pee in the fridge. Pee in the freezer.
Yeah, refrigerators are really a pain to clean up when something leaks in them. It's all over the place, and you got to get the stuff out of the crisper, and then you got the smell, and it dries.
It's horrible.
I hate it when that happens. I hate when people pee in your fridge. So
yeah.
That's
why I put tasers in my fridge, so they're in for a surprise if they try that. But check out my channel. Thank you, Travis, for the invite. As
no
always,
problem, man. Appreciate you being here. Cool. So Night Strike, do you want to leave us with a little few words of encouragement for how you feel about the 2A?
Shall not be infringed.
There we go. Wow, dude,
that was a very a very tranquilized.
This is our decaf coffee episode of Caliber Corner, man. I think
I'm drinking coffee this morning. I'm up way before I normally am.
Yes.
I'm working on everything. So
all right.
I'm editing videos right now as we speak.
Oh, that's cool. That's all right, man. All right, man. Well, you heard it there. Shall not be infringed. And so joining us again one more time on the Gun Channel side was David Bowling over there, and Patrick was over there, and Paper Plane Crash was with us too. And then on the YouTube side, we got a ton of people watching. We saw SS Pawns in the house. We got Stephen Dawkins, Poor Conservative, Blue Steel 44 Stealth Hunter, Jim Burgess out there also said shall not be infringed. Midnight Range TM, Drucifer, Jason Stewart, Melvin Nutt. Melvin Nutt says next week's topic, surviving and shooting in the bitter cold. I like that. I have a lot of experience in that. I think we could all contribute to that one.
Love shooting in the cold.
Most of us that are on the panel live in states that are freezing right now. Ghost Tactical looks like he's back from SHOT Show. Glad you made it back there, man. I think you said he rolled in at 1 a.m. Is that right?
Dang, going.
Man, and he's with us today. Talk about dedication. Thanks, bro.
We lost Kitty Gary earlier in the show.
Running on the laptop,
so
I can only do one screen at a time. So
we have to say something for him.
Check out Gary's channel. Give him the bird. If they get in way, just give him the bird. Check out Gary's channel over there on YouTube, Gun Channels. Gun Loving Grandpa Stanley was with us. Guitar Man Pete. Cowboy Swami in the house. He said, "Good show, boys. Thanks, man. Appreciate it." Frank the Tank Hellman's out there also. Good to see you, Frank. Philo. I'm sure I probably missed a few people here. Melvin Nutt with us. I think that's about it. So we'll go ahead and call it. Martin Korf, again, thank you for that super chat last week. X Realtree X is out there also. How about 300 Blackout? We could talk about 300 Blackout next week because that's one that's had a lot more applications and is a little more widely accepted than some of these calibers we're covering. We'll cover that next week. Garage Gun, South the Border Panda, and Sean Pondery. So, guys, thanks for joining us. This has been Caliber Corner episode number 77. Next week, we should be able to broadcast at the same time. If there's any changes or anything comes up, I will let you guys know. Again, it's kind of a hard time slot sometimes for me to be here, and sometimes we have to limit the show link because of family things I got going on. But otherwise, guys, that's it. Thanks for joining us. Caliber Corner number 78. And I think we'll go ahead and say goodbye.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye, Felicia.
If Alicia's in your fridge, you might have to ask her to leave.
Adios, Alicia. Adios, Alicia. And do not pee in the fridge.